my mind is made up.
Hey guys, this is Eric Kyle, publisher of Latitudes and Attitudes magazine.
And I'm David Levesque, editor of Latitudes and Attitudes, and welcome to Three Sheets, our podcast where we chill and chat with individuals making a difference in the cruising lifestyle.
Each episode, we'll dive into all things cruising related and bring you some of the most influential characters out there. So sit back, grab your favorite bottle, light them if you got them, and enjoy the adventure. Hey guys, Eric Kyle, your publisher of Latitudes and Attitudes magazine, and I'm excited to be joined today by David Levesque, editor of Latitudes and Attitudes magazine. Say hi, David.
Hi, David.
And together we make up Three Sheets Podcast. We've got an incredible podcast for you today. I'm joined with Ben and MP with Sailing Yabá, which is a beautiful vessel, and their adventures from all over the world, and we're going to get to talk to them today. David, why don't you chat a little bit about how you found this fine young couple and why in the world they possibly agreed to doing a podcast with us?
Well, I'm not sure if we found them or they found us, or maybe we just ran into each other in Annapolis, but somebody told us that we need to podcast you two fun people. And they said you have a very interesting story. And since we're all about interesting stories here at Latitudes and Attitudes magazine, might as well go ahead and do it. So the first obvious question for me is, I saw on your channel that your name is MP because your real name is too hard to pronounce. So let's just get that out of the way now.
So my name is Maria Paula. Nice to meet you, everyone. But MP is just easier in English. In Portuguese, it wouldn't be that difficult, but Maria, it's very Latina, and Paula as well. So yeah, MP, it's easier.
Maria Paula, right?
Very good.
Perfect.
That's very good.
Thank
You
you.
can say Maria Paula from now on if you feel like it.
Not just a pretty face. Okay. So we...
Wait a minute. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and talk with you. Where we saw you in Annapolis. It was fun to run into you, fun to meet you, and get to know you a little bit there. Sorry we didn't have a whole lot of time to talk there because, as you know, this show is incredibly busy, and every year we do this show, it gets busier and busier. So, where are you now?
Well, right now, if you want to just put us on a map simply, we are in a bay between Rio de Janeiro, which is about 90 nautical miles north of us, and Sao Paulo, which is a bit less south of us. So if you want to put us on the map, that's about
In the Brazilian coast.
on the Brazilian coast. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like it sucks. Okay.
Well, can I ask you a quick question real quick? Because we were just down there a couple of years ago, and the island that was it Raquel Welch made famous or something like that? There was some famous movie star actress that was down on one of the islands off of Brazil, made it extremely famous. I don't know if it was Raquel Welch, but are you guys by those islands down there, or are you close to the mainland?
There's 3 islands that are very close. There's 2 islands very close to the mainland. One will be Ilha Bela, beautiful island. I don't know what.
Yeah,
That Santos. Is that the one?
I think it's the Bela.
There's
the Bela
Ilha
Island.
Grande, which
Okay.
is just 15 miles north of us, and there's one like up in Salvador, which is called Fernando de Noronha, but that's like, what is it, 100 and something, 200 miles offshore?
The thing is, ilha means island in Portuguese, so it's or beautiful island or big island. Those are the main islands where we are. But the region we are right now has more than 300 islands, so it's very famous for island hopping.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be stuck here for a while.
Yeah.
We're trying to head up the coast, but every time we head up, we find another cool island where we can just anchor at and just hang out. So
I think it's Isabela. Is
Yeah.
the island that we had visited, and some famous movie star was down there and imprinted that whole section of the world for everybody else in the U.S. I can't remember who it was, and I apologize for that. I am 57 years old, but all the other islands down there equally absolutely beautiful. Had a wonderful time down there, and I'm sure you guys are experiencing the same thing.
I'll tell you what imprinted Brazil for me the first time was in the movie James Bond with Jaws, where they're on the Sugarloaf Mountain in the cable cars. We actually went up the mountain, the Sugarloaf, I think a year or 2 ago, and they even had the cable car from the James Bond movie up there and stuff. And then, of course, seeing it, maybe like you as well, in real life, it's really cool to see.
Well, there is one problem with Rio. I think one beach is Ipanema and the other beach is
Copacabana.
Copacabana.
Copacabana. So we went to Copacabana Beach, and this was on New Year's Eve. And we got off the cruise ship. We went down there, went to go enjoy it, and there was maybe 200,000 people on this beach. And we went, got our spot on the beach, and I decided I'm going to go out to the water and swim. It's maybe 20 yards. I go out to the water, I swim, I come back, and it's just a sea of people. It took me a half an hour to try to figure out where my family was.
Was everyone wearing white at New Year?
Yes, yes, they had some kind of carnival after that. I mean, it was absolutely nuts. We went back to the cruise ship, watched, they had 7 barges and blowing off fireworks that night. It's just unbelievable. That whole area is incredible.
So do you recommend New Year's Eve in Rio? Because that's exactly what we're planning on doing.
Absolutely. Just make sure they have signs that have numbers on them so you know where to go back to when you go to the water. Just remember the number that you're by, and
Okay.
that's how you find out where to go.
I'll tell you what our vision is right now, and that is to be on the boat looking at the beach with some VIP guests, aka family and friends, watching the fireworks, and then later we can just go back and anchor around the corner again to avoid
Epic,
exactly what you had on the beach.
epic, epic, epic.
So
Enjoy, guys. I apologize for interrupting, David. I just got a Brazilian flashback there.
no, listen, we all know how you feel about Brazilians. So, um, just looking at the your Instagram channel, I want to get into talking about you guys. I could listen to Eric speak pretty much all day long, and usually I do. But in this particular case, we want to talk about Three Sheets and what you guys are all about. So, um, looking on your Instagram channel, I know you guys brought a sinking wrecked boat back to life. Let's just do this. So you bought a sinking schooner. What is this now? Let's get into it.
But first of all, the boat we have, it's an old Brazilian schooner. They're a very shallow draft, very wide. If you want to picture a Viking hull, they're kind of built like that, wide and big bellied. They were used to be used for transport along the coast of Brazil. Nowadays, not well. They've kind of disappeared and been neglected. So we ended up with one of those and said, hey, well, we looked at 26-foot, 24-foot fiberglass boats for a long time and then came across this and said, cool, let's get a pirate ship. And ended up with this.
Yeah, when we got the boat, we knew it was sinking, but we thought it was like a minor problem that we could just replace a couple of planks and we should be good to go.
How hard can it be?
The funny thing that I'm always embarrassed to admit is that we really bought the boat thinking that we would fix it in 3 weeks, and it took us 4 years.
Do you know how many times in my life I've said, how hard can it be? And regret it every single time I said that.
Then life shows you how hard it can actually be.
And,
That's-
and then it gets harder than you. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a quick question because we all have, probably people listening to this podcast have some nostalgia for the sea. You know, sometimes we feel called to the sea, sometimes we just admire the beauty of it and we just want to be part of it. And when you were looking at all these other boats, going from a 23, 24, maybe 26-foot fiberglass boat to a 70-foot wooden boat, what was the thing that made you decide this is the boat for me, even though you knew you're going to be facing a lot of challenges? And maybe that'll help bring some clarity to other people to maybe not make an insane decision, but maybe make an educated choice about what their vessel of preference would be.
Yeah, well, I was thinking we could do a live talk at the boat show next year, how not to rebuild a boat. Like
How not to buy a
how
boat,
not
exactly.
how to not do it. No. We went from having a small boat life dream to having a big boat life dream because MP's a diving instructor and I'm a dive master, so we could get this kind of thing going to earn a living.
It's just the 26-foot boat was the idea of having a boat to spend a week or two every once in a while.
Hmm.
And the idea of having a bigger boat, it could be our home full time and also our business. So we would be changing our lives completely. And that idea was very tempting.
And not knowing, of course, how much work went into a wooden boat, that might have changed our decision back then. But looking back, I think look at where we are now. If we hadn't gone for this boat, if we had
Yeah.
gone for 32-foot responsible fiberglass Bermuda rig boat, we would have maybe still been sailing, still been having fun, but not having this, I don't know, a YouTube channel, which we're very happy working on, and meeting all these people that we wouldn't have met otherwise. So
Of course, that in 4 years rebuilding the boat, we learned a lot. And if we knew back then what we know now, we wouldn't have gone for that boat. But I'm very glad we didn't know anything back then, because now I love living on this boat and I love what we're doing. So everything ended up working out.
And just to add on quickly to that, we say we rebuilt the boat. I would like to say we did have two boat builders and two helpers helping us the whole way. And of course, without these guys, I think that they deserve the biggest shout out.
No, we as just
they deserve the biggest shout out. Wouldn't have been possible without them. The local Brazilian shipwrights.
I saw the video of you guys replacing the keel. Oh my God.
If only it was just replacing the keel. That was the quickest thing. We were worried about it because when we bought the boat, people were saying, careful with that boat because the keel is like, it's about to snap. And of course it didn't snap. And okay, it wasn't a good keel. We've actually got a piece of keel here somewhere.
One fun thing I have to add about that is when we got the boat, it was during pandemic. We were trying to find a shipyard that would take us, and no one wanted us because people that are in the industry, they know how long it would take to fix that boat, and that would mess up their schedule completely. So no one wanted us. And then we were here in this region, more in São Paulo. My family is from the south of Brazil. So back there are also many shipyards. And my dad went talking like, would you take this boat? Would you take this boat? He found a place that was happy to have us. And they said, but they might need to replace the keel. Would you do that kind of work? And the guy said, come, don't worry, bring the boat, but
it can't be that bad.
It's very unlikely that you need to replace the keel, because if you need to replace the keel, that means that the boat is really, really bad. And the first thing they said when we arrived, when they look at the boat, is, your keel is like this, and you need to replace it.
So that was this is shipworm for you when you don't lift it frequently enough.
You can even
did you Maria Paulo, did you do all 5 senses to test that keel out to make sure that did you end up tasting it or no?
I didn't taste it. I was very close to doing it, but I didn't need to because the smell was already telling me that wasn't needed. I skipped that one.
Got it. Beautiful.
So on this podcast, just to be very clear about some things, we have this magazine that you guys may have heard of. It's called Latitudes and Attitudes.
I may have heard of it, yes.
May have, yeah.
Thank you very much for admitting that. So it's about the cruising lifestyle. You guys are living that lifestyle right now. What I want to do, I want to take a few minutes to go back to the beginning, not like the dawn of time beginning, but I just want to say, like, before you got this crazy idea to go ahead and take over this sinking boat, right? Like, what were your backgrounds? Were you sailors before this? How'd you guys meet? Just take us through that a little bit.
What's the first thing?
Well, Ben is more of a sailor than I am, but I was born and grew up on an island here in the south of Brazil, so I was always surrounded by the sea, and I knew that one day I wanted to live on a boat. When we started dating, I think we were together for 3 days, and I said, look, before this goes any further, I need you to know that I want to live on a boat. Would that be part of your life ever? And he said, yeah, my dad lives on a boat. I always picture myself retiring and moving to a boat as well. And I'm like, I like that, but I see the boat in our lives way before. But
before retiring.
Before retiring. But back then we were living in Belgium. We were not really close to the sea. So it was something that, we'll see how life will bring that boat to us.
Okay, so Ben, you're from Belgium?
Well, my dad's Dutch and my mom's English. I was born in the UK, but I think I moved to Belgium since I was when I was 6. From Australia to Belgium when I was 5 or 6, and lived there until most of my life.
Okay. All right. So you guys met in Belgium then?
We met in the Netherlands. Sorry, I know it's confusing.
That's fine.
I was living in Brazil, studying in Brazil. My university was doing an exchange program with some students, and I got chosen to go to the Netherlands, and that's where we met. The funny thing is, I wanted to study oceanography. Because of some reasons I couldn't do it. Ben wanted to study boat design, and also same thing, he didn't do it.
I was just afraid of graduating in boat design or yacht design and saying, I don't really like this. Then what do you do? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So then we went back, and we both went for a marketing degree.
So we both separate lives. We didn't know each other. He wanted to do boat design. He didn't do it. I wanted to do oceanography. I didn't do it. But then we met studying business. You know, like when you don't know what to do, you study business. And then we met there, and we ended up living on the ocean, doing a lot of boat building. So I think things worked out for us.
It sounds like they did. So I'm going to land this plane here real quick with my questions. So this is how you met, and I give you a lot of credit, MP, for coming out and saying, okay, look, before this goes any further, I want to live on a boat. I mean, typically when some people hook up and meet people, it's usually questions like, hey, do you like sports? Do you want children? Are you vegetarian? I mean, questions like that, you know what I mean? And you, it's like, hey, do you want to live on a boat? So thankfully the answer was yes, because it so far seems to be working out.
We don't
All
know
right.
anything else about each other, just that.
That's awesome. Okay, so fast forward, now you end up and you find this boat and now you're exploring the cruising lifestyle, right?
Yeah,
Finally.
finally. Well,
Perfect.
I've been on boats a lot. My dad lives on boats, and since I was in nappies and stuff. But I think owning a boat is another thing, whether it's good to own this boat as your first boat or not. I mean, it's just the fact that you can have a house. We've got 2 dogs on board here, and you can just take people on and off and drop them on and off as you're going around. I think that's just, I don't know, it's just nothing better.
What is the biggest question that some of your followers on YouTube or some of the people that you interact with, what is the number one question you guys get asked the most?
How do you guys tolerate each other for those 4 years of building?
During the rebuild was when we were gonna launch the boat, and we really wish we knew. Ben and I, the only reason we survived the whole 4 years is because we thought in 3 months we'll be ready. We never imagined it was going to be 4 years. So whenever, if any point of the build you ask me, when is the boat gonna be ready? I always thought I just need to work for another 3 months. So that's what kept us alive. So whenever people ask me, when are you gonna launch? I always thought, well, I think in 3 months, and that was the most heard question of our lives. Now that we are cruising and we made it to the boat show, the question is, when are you bringing Yabá to the Annapolis boat show?
That would go. And just yeah, it's a long way. I mean, there's a long trip and lots of stops to see on the way, so we don't know when. But also a big question is, how does she sail? Because she's about 50 tons. She's got small, low masts and stuff. And that's another question that we get asked a lot.
I saw one of the videos. You were out there in 10, 12 footers, and I think that's when you snap the mast. My goodness, that must have been a heck of an adventure in a boat that size. Had you ever been in conditions like that before?
Not with this boat. We'd been more testing, of course, what do you call it? Sea trials. We've been doing them between the island and the mainland, which is kind of, you might get wind, but you might not get the swell. And we decided, oh, let's go around the island now that we've got to know the boat a bit. I don't think, well, of course, we just discovered that when the mast snapped, luckily just like, what is it, 2 or 3 feet up on top, it was a joint already. Someone had already fixed it. So what we did now is we cut it there and we left it a bit shorter. But
And the thing is, we noticed that we didn't like how that was looking during the rebuild. Not the joint, but we had the stay between the mast and the back stay. They were doing this move. So it was going to actually eventually snap it. So now we fixed it and there's no leverage anymore. So we are happier with how it's working now.
The back stay goes up to a ring, and on the other side of the ring is the stay that goes to the foremast. So it's just on one point and not on different levels.
But it's funny, we noticed that during the rebuild, like that might happen. And then when we started testing,
we just wanted to launch it. Don't worry, the mast, if it snaps, it snaps. I don't care. I just want to be sailing and having fun, and we'll figure that out later. And then,
oh, but we did figure it out.
So what kind of skills would you say you guys need in order to enjoy this lifestyle? Do you have to know the difference between a hammer and a screwdriver? Is it a necessity, or is it something that you can just go buy a new boat and see what happens?
You mean this specific boat, like a wooden?
No, I mean just cruising in general. I mean, because you guys made the decision to not go with a brand new boat or a newer boat, smaller boat. You made a project boat out of your dream. And what kind of skills are necessary to be able to make that choice to go to sea?
I think that depends on 2 things: your budget and what you're planning on doing with the boat. If you're planning on leaving the boat in the marina most of the time, and going for short sailing trips, you can often get away with finding someone local to work on whatever you need working. Same with budget. If you've got a big budget, you can always hire someone to come on board and you won't need to know much. However, I think it's very important, whether you're a weekend sailor or a full-time sailor, to at least know your boat's where everything is. And like, let's say water is coming in, you need to be able to say, it could be a seacock, it could be that joint in our case, a wooden boat in the bow, or it can be the propeller. I think you just need a bit of a sense of how your boat's put together. And I feel when you buy a new boat, you get delivered a beautiful new boat, you have not seen a single wire and stuff, and you don't know how the plumbing is put together. When something happens, you need to kind of have that understanding. And in our case, as we built it from scratch practically, there's water coming in. It's about 6 feet in front of these stairs, but there is no water coming in further than that. So it must be here. And that knowledge, I think.
I cannot say that I loved rebuilding the boat because that wouldn't be true. It was really tough, but I loved everything we learned during those 4 years, and I'm sure that we are better sailors now because of that. And whenever there is a scary situation, because we know the boat so well, everything is so much easier. And regarding specific skills, I wasn't confident with tools at all before the build, and now I am. Also, when we bought the boat, I told Ben, I know that when you're living on board, you need to know a little bit of engine, carpentry, weather, sailing, like so many skills that we need to learn, and we need to. I said to him, I just don't want to get involved with electrics because I'm scared of shocks and stuff. And I ended up doing the whole electrics of the boats, and now I like it. So the set of skills for living on a boat, like Ben said, if you don't want to be depending on other people to come and fix it for you, it's a very big list.
Do you kind of feel like you're building the plane as you fly it?
Well, I've always thought of like, there's people out there building planes. Like, if our rudder cables snap floating, we still float. If you're in a plane and your rudder cable snaps, that's like another story. If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
If our mast snaps, we still float. If a plane wing snaps, another story. So I think yes and no, but I'd rather be floating.
The 3 levels on a van, on a motorhome, something goes wrong, you go on the side of the road, try to fix it. On the boat is already a little bit harsher because you're in the middle of the ocean, but on a plane you're in the middle of the air. So
why don't you take us through the boat just a little bit here, okay? Because we're gonna put, as this podcast is edited, we're gonna go ahead and put some great B-roll footage in here of the boat and so forth and so on. People that have watched your videos, I mean, I know that like the way you've done them, it makes them feel like they're right there along with you when you're sanding and you're doing all this kind of stuff. It's like they feel like they're part of the refit. I'm assuming the refit, I mean, it's done enough to the point where you can be sailing. You're not done with the refit, right? You're still going through it.
We're done. I mean, we're missing some shit. We can go around the world as it is now. We need an autopilot. We need a water maker for us to go around the world, I feel. But
just like this week's to-do list is to paint the walls. You can go around the world without walls painted, but we just want that to be looking finished because you come and the boat still looks unfinished because the walls are looking rough, like stuff like that. But also installing the VHF, that is essential, and that's on this week's to-do list. So
yeah,
we still have a lot to do, but if we had to like now rush out of here because of some reason, we could.
So take us through the boat though. So it's double masted, right? So just give us sort of an idea of the layout of the boat.
2 masts, 60-foot waterline or deck, and then 88 feet with the bowsprit and the platform. The only reason that bowsprit is good is it's giving us an extra sail. So I don't know if you've seen images. You've got the superstructure, which is on the deck, and then you've got the pilot house, which is aft. In front of that superstructure, which is in front of the mainmast, is all a bow locker, which is where we have some little shelving units, storage, paints, safety gear and stuff, and our anchor chain box. That's a double bulkhead behind that. So if we do end up having water coming in the bow, it will fill there. It's got its own bilge pump, and it won't go to the rest. Then from there all the way to the windows, which you would look out of when you're at the pilot house, is
the living area.
Yeah, 2 forward cabins. One of them like an ensuite, which is ours, which is a manual pump for the toilet, and on the other side is a communal bathroom with the electric luxury push a button and flush system with big shower. Then we
Yeah.
have one more spare room, which is a bit of a smaller room, but it's enough to fit 2 people on.
Then we have the workshop, like a tool
Workshop,
room
yeah, with
where
a
we can fix
with a
things.
vise and like little drawers for all our tools, which I think is very important on a boat, is to just have quick access to tools. Going back to your question initially, do you need to know the difference between a drill and a hammer? In our case, we have a drawer of screwdrivers, a drawer of saws, chisels, and so on. Then the rest is just kitchen and living area, and upstairs is just a really big outside
The lounge area.
saloon lounge with a lazy Susan in the middle. I don't know. And that's our boat from bow to aft.
She's
And
absolutely beautiful. What year was she built originally?
that's funny. We don't really know. The oldest thing we know is 2006 because a couple bought it from someone and
And we fit
started
it.
and we fitted it.
Okay.
We don't know before that.
Probably way older. I mean, we'll try and go after that. But for now, I think
But right now she's 2024 because pretty much everything is new.
So it's fair to say that you've done an awful lot of work to the boat and you've got it to a point where you're ready to go world traveling. So when is the exit date? When are you going to leave Brazil and what is the initial plan? What's the first leg of your journey? Did you plan to go around the world with this boat?
100%.
Yeah, I think the exit date was already 3 months ago when we left the south of Brazil because we already started traveling. We're already going up, but Brazil has a very big coastline, and we think that's gonna take us another year to finish because we don't want to skip it. We're really enjoying it. It's so beautiful. So another year of Brazil, and then we don't really have everything planned ahead.
Yeah. So it was funny because Brazil is such a detour from Central America or the US. I was talking to Charles from Argonaut. He was also at the boat show. I asked, we were having a chat, what's the easiest way to go from, let's say, Florida to Brazil? And he says, around the world to Brazil.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bad going down, unless you're heading off the Antarctic, you might sacrifice some luxury to do it. The best way is to just go all the way around, cross from Africa to Brazil, and that's the best way to do it. So I think we're going to make the most of being here, head up the coast, and then either go east or west.
Or up to the boat show as
And
well.
that
Now that
depends.
so many people ask for it.
Yeah, and that depends on people who we meet. They might say, don't do this, do that. And I think that's the best way to decide what to do. Oh, I've done this, don't do it. And that's, I think, how we will do it.
So what's the attraction with going around the world? Just want that feather in your cap?
I just think there's so much to see. It's easy to stay stuck here for a year, but I think every country, in some countries, every state is a different culture.
Like here.
So yeah, I think it's just traveling.
No, but we're not looking for the badge. We're looking for seeing different places, different cultures, and we can see this so far in Brazil. That's why it's taking us a long time to go up. And we don't have a big goal ambition. We just want to keep going and enjoying and seeing people. That's why we don't know for sure if we're gonna go one way or the other. If we had a round the world planned, it would be a different story. Our goal is just to see
And
the
also
world.
the boat, people say that your boat's not a blue water sailing boat, which compared to nowadays, it isn't. We don't have a deep keel. We have a 1 meter draft kind of, which is up to your hip.
Mhm.
So you'd say, no, that's not made for big open seas and stuff. But if you think about it, what boats have been around the world already? I think last week a couple of girls went from, that was something crazy. What was
In a
the
kayak.
from
Australia.
Peru to Australia in a kayak? So if they can do that, I mean, we should be able to, right? So
We know it's not the ideal boat for that, but well, the continent we are at right now was discovering one of those, so
yeah.
we
Well,
should
I
be
gotta
able to.
imagine when you go into a new port, you go into a new country, you go into a new destination, there is a feeling of accomplishment of going from one place to another. And also the awe and wonder of exploring that area, that land, that beach, that culture. It's kind of like going back into kindergarten and discovering something new every time you go into a new port.
So we
Yeah,
already in this area, we traveled, I don't know, 15 miles and we went to two different indigenous tribes to visit them.
Hmm.
And I think that's already crazy because one of them it's like one of them represented or inhabited the South America before anyone was here, and they've still got their roots here. So I think going up, I mean, they're not there to see. You have to go after these things and find them. And I think everywhere in the world will have this kind of hidden gem to go back in the past, to go back to the roots. And I think that's also really cool about these cultures. I've seen these people on islands who live on a sand patch, and like you need to travel to see those things, if you see what I mean. Like,
As a little kid, I had this dream once, Ben, and it wasn't really a dream. It was a hope that I would be able to see a pink porpoise in the Amazon.
yeah,
And you guys are not too far from that. Are you going to go up the Amazon at all?
that's a big question. I think that's another one of those cases where I say you need to be at the entrance of the Amazon to ask locals, is it okay to go in or out? Because we've heard nasty stuff about it, but we've heard amazing stuff about it. So you really need to see,
If
like,
it's just a matter of will, we would love to do it and we want to do it, but we just need to see when the time comes if it's something that we can do safely or not, because some stories that we heard are a bit dodgy. So
but then other stories say of guys saying, I went in, it was fine. I just went around and
yeah,
left and continued my journey. So I
we
think
would
that's more
want to do that.
something.
Yeah.
If anything, you can anchor the boat in front and go in anyway. I think that would be cool.
Find a pink porpoise. Take a picture for me, okay?
Come
Okay.
and see us. We'll
Deal.
let you know when we're down there, and you just
Hey, man,
find
I'll
them
jump on a plane anytime.
You know what? Your energy and your enthusiasm for this adventure is very infectious. It really is, and I think that that's what makes you very endearing to people. And the other thing that I mean, with this cruising lifestyle and everything that we publish on the pages of our magazine, what our audience loves is a real story. They don't want channels or stories that are sort of glossed over, like we're only going to show you, the fun parts about the lifestyle. We're going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So refitting this boat, I mean, you guys have put everything out there for people to see. What's like the nastiest thing that happened while you were refitting this boat? Like, and how'd you get through that? How'd you navigate through it?
us losing the boat almost.
Well, I'm trying to think of the nicest.
There are so many. Let me think.
Yeah, we have a couple. It's just
Well,
I
top
stumped
three.
Yaba. I stumped Yaba.
every week at the shipyard, I'll get some bad news of something else that needed to be replaced, and I'll talk to the camera holding tears in. So it was. We started the channel showing the ugly and the bad. Now that we're cruising, we're finally showing the good as well. But it was an ugly journey.
But like we I don't know about other channels. I've heard lots of channels can be have 3 months of footage behind, so they have some time to catch up. Like right now, this Sunday's episode, like let me get the camera and I'll film you guys. That's how recent we are. You will be in this Sunday's episode. Let's do it. There. Today's highlight is that we are doing a podcast with the Lats and Ats over there. Look at these guys. Say hi to the world.
Hola,
So we're just
amigos, ¿cómo estás?
But I think the worst moment, and actually this didn't make it to the channel, is when we finally closed the hull. We had brand new keel, brand new frames, brand new planks, everything, like the outside of the hull was ready. I got news that the document from the previous owner to us didn't go through because it was pandemic, it got lost in a pile and blah blah blah, and the ownership of the boat was going back to the previous owner. Now that we finally had the hull, that was the most challenging part, ready, and we managed, of course, to fix that, and we are officially the owners of the boat. But that was a very, very scary moment.
yeah, yeah.
And I did
Yeah.
it
I
from
think
Yeah.
you just gave Ben some flashbacks, and he really just didn't want to go through.
Yeah,
That's
so she kept it from
dramatic.
me so that I kept my, like, one of us had to keep the drive going at the shipyard and stuff. So if she would have told me, there's no point in both of us being down. I mean,
Imagine having motivation to wake up again at 6 a.m. and work every day, like we're working for 12 hours on the boat every day. Imagine finding motivation knowing that you might lose the boat.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell Ben because I thought that there were chances of fixing it. We fixed it. So I think for months I was struggling with this secret, but then, yeah.
she told me when she had the documents sorted so that she could, like, when you don't tell your mom you broke your arm on holiday, you tell her when you arrive when everything's good,
Got
so
it.
that she doesn't worry. That's what happened.
Very
So,
well
so who's the captain?
We both are.
I would say it's Ben.
Okay. Well, because you're the one that said it right out front. I want to live on a boat. If you're not interested, that
Yeah,
scram.
we're both very involved with the boat, but he has more skills, so
Okay.
he can make the call better than I can, so that's why.
Do you
Well,
guys
I'm
do you
going to
guys
tell you
do?
something. From some of the videos that I've seen, he's at the helm, popping his head out the helm station every so
He's
often
doing
while you're out there hauling up those sails, working that anchor chain. I mean, Maria Paulo, I think
fast,
I
faster,
put in a little
please.
bit
Yeah,
more
he
work
makes
than
me
our
work
Benny
too
boy back there,
hard.
Well,
which is
isn't that
as
what the
it should be.
captain does? Just has the crew working for him.
There you go. Well said. Way to get yourself out of that one, buddy. Um, so what have you learned about each other in this fabulous journey of yours? Anything fun and exciting?
That she wants to live on a boat before retiring.
Well, you
I
knew
don't
that
want
ahead
to
of
be
time.
easy, but I just really admire how Ben, even though he is tired, he's never tired. He
Cool.
works really hard. He's never scared of doing the effort that needs to be done. He will never back up, and that's something that I learned from him when times were really tough. He never considered giving up, and I really admire you for that.
And I admire MP for also, I mean, if we'd gone for a fiberglass boat, we could have just gone and sailed, and she could have learned very fast how to sail a boat and done. But she's really doing her best to pick up all the jobs that come with owning a big wooden ship and things that she's never done before, like how often have you done electrics before? Hammer and chisel is a skill that you need to do, and she even picks up a hammer and a chisel, having never done it before, and like wanting to jump into that steep learning curve as well is also something that I've learned from MP from the build. Because we got together, we lived together for 2 years. I was working in Belgium and then moved to Brazil. Pandemic happened, so it was just kind of we learned a lot from each other during this rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this mutual admiration. This is so wonderful. Wow. I'm so touched. I know, right?
That's the teleprompter that's behind us. It's the script.
That's rehearsed.
All right, I want to
No,
bring it down for just a moment. Not down, but I want to step aside and ask you a serious question. Because there's a lot of people who are aspiring cruisers that listen to this podcast. They read Latitudes and Attitudes magazine. They're like, oh my God, I want to do what those guys do, right? So, what is the biggest fear? What is the thing that you have to overcome before you take off and do your deal? Outside of having to rebuild a boat when you buy a boat that's an old wooden boat, what is the biggest concern when you cast your lines off and make this decision?
There are a few. I think one people have this dream. I think I'm just going to be honest. More people have the dream of living on a boat. You need to at least have done it enough to know that you're not going to invest all your money on a boat and then find out you don't like it. That's something very important. Once you know you like it, I think the concern is just tell you what, there is no concern. If you have thought it through, if you've thought it through and you've watched, like YouTube has plenty of videos. Should I buy a boat? Should I not? I know Zingaro has many videos on what boat to get, what not to get, what the life is like. You can watch loads of these videos. And I think, what is the
the
concern?
good part is really good, but it also takes a lot of work, so that shouldn't be a surprise. You should be willing to work hard to earn the good part. But I think nowadays that we are cruising already, we are learning how the boat deals in storms, so that's not actually a fear, it's just something that we pay attention to learn it. And I think my only fear living on a boat is bad intentioned people. For the rest, we're all learning.
That's something you can't avoid. And I think you shouldn't live in fear because you might live your whole boat life and nothing else happens. Nothing happens to you. So I wouldn't say that's a fear. But the dream life is there on a sailboat, but it also comes with anchor dragging and
At
storms and
midnight.
everything. So be prepared for the best of both worlds, or the best of the good world and the worst of the bad world. So
And of course, the anchor won't drag on that perfect day during the daylight. It's gonna happen in the middle of the storm when you're trying to sleep. So those are the things of boats.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, if it's your
That with
dream,
such a
definitely
smile.
go after it.
It
Definitely go after
sounds
it.
like you've done it, that has happened to you, MP.
Yeah. When that happened, I was like, I didn't sign up for this. I wanted fresh coconut water and tanning, reading a book. That's why I wanted from sailing, but it's part of it,
But
and I'll do it all again.
but I'll tell you, the first weeks was like you're on a boat. It's like it's a baby. You need to take care of it. I mean, you're holding the helm. Like, can I steer this thing? Like, you throw the anchor for the first night, or you go sailing. It's like, I hope nothing bad happens. So you need to be like knowing that these stresses will be there, but you'll get used to them so fast.
We had a very scary anchor drag from an anchorage that made me hate sailing for half an hour, and then dolphins appeared and they were playing with the boats, and then I just didn't hate it anymore, you
Didn't
know?
hate it anymore. You know, my one of my favorite phrases, besides "dinner's ready," is "the journey is the destination," and that is really what I believe the cruisers just love that because it is about the journey, right? And it
It
doesn't
is.
really matter where you end up; it's about getting there, you know, and everything that happens along the way, and the adventures, and the ups and downs, and like you said, learning with from each other, mutual admiration for each other, strengthen your relationship. You guys are the real deal, and I love the fact that we had a chance to actually get to know you a little bit better on this podcast.
And this
Thank you.
admiration of each other comes with a patron of ours contacted us and said, "Guys, buy a walkie-talkie because I've seen how you guys yell at each other from the helm to the anchor. Not healthy." So it was funny. He gave us this donation, and straight away we got two walkie-talkies. So now every time she goes to the bow and I'm at the helm, we just talk calmly at each other. And it kind of sucks because I'm not allowed to yell into the walkie-talkie anymore because
So what you really have to do is you have to, in honor of the patron that gave you the money to buy the walkie-talkie, you got to change the name of the walkie-talkie to the name of the patron. Like
Bob.
if the patron's
yeah.
name is Brad, so get on the Brad and call
Okay,
MP.
the walkie-talkie's got Bob now.
Let's use our Bobs.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I love that. I
What's
love
the
Bob.
name
that.
of that there's a famous t-shirt out there that says, "I'm sorry for what I said when we were docking."
I saw that at the show and I thought it was so funny because it's so true. Like it is not personal when we're yelling at each other.
The famous
No,
words
no,
of Dad are, "Dad, stop yelling at me. I'm not yelling. It's so you can hear me better."
no.
What is yelling?
Eric says that to me all the time when he's yelling at me. It's nothing personal, little buddy.
Right next to you.
I got a mean streak, I'll admit it. All right, so we were talking about the boat show. Did you guys have a good time in Annapolis this year?
Yeah, 100%. And I really appreciate what you guys have done for that little corner at the Lats and Ats parties and stuff. It was the
Thank
best
you.
times.
The great time we had has a lot to do with you and the parties. It was really, really amazing. The
Stop
best
it,
corner of
stop
the
it,
show.
stop
I
it.
will keep going. It really was amazing. It was really fun. Can I mention the keg stands?
Oh, yeah.
No video of the keg
Great
stand
streakers.
exists that I'm aware of. Um, Listen, thank you for saying that because when we took this magazine over, what is this, Eric? Was this the third Annapolis boat show we've done or the fourth? I forget.
I think it's the
But
fourth.
it
Did we
might be
get
the
this
fourth.
in
But
2021 maybe?
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Young Cruisers Association and Sea People. I
100%
mean,
people.
a big reason why that corner has been transformed into literally um, it's probably the most popular spot in the entire boat show right now because it is the most
Thank
chill.
you.
It's the most unifying section of the show. Like everybody that's there totally feels like they're part of this community. Eric's going to go ahead and show you his chest, and
Yeah,
and it's unity is part of community, right? There you go. So
I love that.
And I'll
it
tell you something. I went walking around the boat show during the after hours event at the Beneteau and the Jano parties, and they were empty because I think everyone just left their booth after our booths to come and spend time at the Lats and Ats and the Sea
you
People and
hear
the
that, Beneteau and Janot?
Where the
I
real
hope you're
fun
listening.
was.
never even
Hey,
Beneteau people at your shows.
they're part of us now, which we love it. Beneteau and Janot,
Did
Lagoon,
you
Access.
guys see how many? Did you happen to see how many kegs we went through?
No, I would love
11.
to remember.
11.
11?
So last year we went through 9 on a 5-day show. This year we went through 11 in a 4-day show.
Well, we know what's going to happen. Well, what's up for next year then?
Always trying to break the record.
Oh, it's game on. It's totally game on.
And if I'm not mistaken, when you guys were also working together with, or Sea People was with Puerto Bahia in the Dominican Republic, who
heck
also had a rum.
Anna. Anna
And did you
is a
try
rock
rum?
star.
Yeah.
That was good.
Those are great people.
So tasty.
I had this rum. So I mean, I'm a rum guy, and this just the rum that they were serving was really, really awesome. But then they served me this bottle of, I swear to God, it sounded like marijuana, but it's mamajuana.
The red stuff.
Yeah, it's mamajuana, and
Yeah.
I fell in love with mamajuana. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was fantastic. It was like a spiced rum. It was really great. So
That was
anybody
good.
out there, get yourself a bottle of mamajuana. You won't regret
Yeah.
That was the one that we liked.
Anna would give it, saying that it would help with our hangovers. I'm not sure, but thank you, Anna.
Yeah, first thing in the morning, I'd go and chat, and she'd be like, "Have this. It's good for your throat." I'm like,
You probably can't see that.
the
No,
sweet
can't
rum.
see it.
Sweet
Hey, the
spice-
cigars were really good too, by the way.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, they were
we have
epic
one here.
cigars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
All right.
But next year, hopefully, we see Manuel. Did you get to meet Manuel the other years?
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Manuel is Anna's brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
So
both great. We love them.
they're fantastic people, and I didn't know this, but Anna lives in Barcelona. I didn't realize that.
Well, now I do. Now I know.
And she
There you
also
go.
spent some time here in Brazil.
She gets around, man. Look at her, big traveler.
So next year, 12 or 13 kegs in a 3-hour streak. In a 3-day streak. 3 days.
3 hours. Man, you're
Listen,
killing it, man.
the gauntlet
So we
has
can
been
rally the
laid
troops
down.
together.
Ben has initiated the challenge. You heard it here first. Way to go, Ben. I'm going to hold you to it, kid.
Don't listen to him.
I'll
He's a
have-
bad influence.
I have to call some reinforcement from Jano and Beneto.
Guys, thank you. Thank you really so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. If you had any closing words of wisdoms that you'd want to relay to the podcast viewers and listeners, people who are out there wanting to aspire to sail and cruise around the world, what would be your words of wisdom to them?
I'm afraid of not sounding wise by saying any phrases.
No, it's just we heard so many times that our dream was impossible, and now we learned that impossible is a bit further than that. So just, I know it's cheesy, but believe in your dreams, follow them, be happy. That's all I have to say.
And yeah, just make sure you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, you can stick to it easier, right?
And enjoy the journey. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
And to you guys, thank you so much for what you mean to this community and also for the invitation. It was an honor to talk to you
It was
today.
nice chatting. And
Oh, my
we don't
goodness.
see each other earlier in Brazil for the Pink Dolphins. We'll see you guys at the Annapolis Boat Show for the 13 kegs.
It was an absolute pleasure and honor to actually get to know you guys and talk to you. Really admire what you've brought with your channel and taking on this project. It's phenomenal. Just real proud to know you. So thank you.
Share with us your channel again, just so that our readers and viewers and listeners can connect with you guys through your socials.
So that's Sailing Yabá, YABA. That's both Instagram we post and on YouTube. Every Sunday we post a new episode.
Excellent. All right, guys. Thanks again. Have a wonderful time down there in Brazil and
Will do.
and everywhere that you go. Enjoy the lifestyle, and let's be sure to check back again in the near future.
Definitely. Thanks a lot. See you guys soon. All right. Bye.
My mind is made up. I'm gonna sail away. Latitudes and attitudes will help me find my way with my loving cup. A little salt and a